Yes, we are live. Hello everyone. So today we are with one more session on Logic Apps with Vishwas. Let me firstly take with the Azure developer side, and then let's start. Yeah. So we are here for website on Azure developer community. Here we focus to as we work in a community as we share our knowledge on Azure. We learn and we network with many others. If you want to join us, you can surely join. And we have many upcoming events which are on different topics of Azure, ML, Docker. So with that, we are near now 100 plus countries in India, and we have 8,000 plus members associated with it. And if you are any state you or any city, you can just check it out and connect with your city. So, if you like to speak in our community, you can become a speaker. You can fill the form in the speaker bureau, and we will be happy to take you on board. And if you want to join our community, you can go here. So yes. So firstly, let me introduce to the yeah. Firstly, let me introduce to Vishwas. Join our community. You can go. Vishwas is a passionate learner about new technology, and he's mentoring many such talks, and he is giving many talks in the community. And I would say he's also a mentor for me. Like he's telling me many Azure things and learning from him many things. So I would love to hear today also to learn new things on Logic Apps, and I would say you will also love to hear from Vishwas. So yes, Vishwas.
Yeah, thank you, Vilsi. Thank you so much. I think thanks for the intro. And yeah, Easy Day is doing amazing. I think probably you guys have to just hop in and give yourself that push to just understand what is beyond the technology that is just superficially taught. I think hopefully we do that. And this is what I always focus on. So Logic Apps was something which I was learning for good time, not long time, but it was a good time. But I really wanted to give a session on it. But yeah, it was cool that I am getting a lot of chances to give talks and also mentor different people from different backgrounds and things like that. And of course, it helps me to build myself as an engineer in the future as well. So yeah, that's what it is. So about me, I'm the podcaster. I love speaking to techies, and I'm a bibliophile. I give a lot of references to white papers or something like anything which is related to the tech. I just love to talk. I'm passionate about image data set. Computer vision is what I always love to work upon. And now exploring Azure Cloud because I love to explore something new every single day. So right now I'm also exploring something. So fundamentally, there's a huge demand for this. It's all about architecting and optimizing the cost. Like, I'll say you what, you need to work smarter no matter what, because it's like the delivery time is like probably like a week before, and probably there are hundreds and hundreds of components that has to be fixed. And what you can do as a developer is you can bring out chunks and chunks of it, and now we are supposed to stitch it up, and now we are supposed to deliver it to a person. And it's probably going to take a lot of time because not all environments will have the same thing. So it's like dev, test, ops, and all the things will be there. Stage, lot of process has to be gone. So right now, I think every individual unit tested components will be analyzed and it will be thrown out to a hey developer, this is what you have done, and next what you can really go on and get some new things up and running. And right now there is no time for you to get wasted, and the fundamental hypothesis of all these purposes still remains the same. It's like you're not supposed to work like a machine. And this is a snippet from a book which is from Gary Kasparov. Gary Kasparov is doing an amazing job evangelizing sports, which is based on intelligence, and also intelligence, which is not supposed to be conflicting. with a human touch. And this is from the book Deep Thinking. I would suggest you guys to read that book completely. It's a book on his experience playing with an algorithm. Actually, it's an algorithm called as alpha beta pruning algorithm. Let me just Google you that. What is that alpha beta pruning all about? Tuning. This is the algorithm which works there. And uh, Stanford, he has a talk on thinking. I think I forgot the talk. I think this is the one, Stanford Big Data. I think if I get that, I'll obviously share it with you guys. And it took 14 years to analyze what's the purpose of that algorithm. And now, what we still will be optimizing is to gather that knowledge. This is a tweet from Geoffrey Hinton, which was on June 18, 2020. It's a very old snippet from my older slide. I think probably this has crossed the number of retweets and the likes. He himself told that he had a lot of talks and he thought that he knew something, and now he has cancelled everything. So a lot of moving parts in the knowledge that we gain over the course of time. There are a lot of moving aspects, like cloud native was not that of a boom, even though there was Kubernetes from 2013, but now today everybody talks about cloud native. So there is a huge demand for learning something new, and creating something new is something which everybody optimistically waits, but probably it's going to take some time. Probably it can be tomorrow, or else it can be 100 years later. Who knows? So it's all moving. And this is an hypothesis on the theory of today as from from him. By what we are doing is we are just fiddling around with the computational power, like what can I do, what can't I do. And this is actually one of my posts, and you guys can see that. And this guy is an considered as god on the Canadian universities, where he is more into the robotics, computer vision, and things like that. So he literally says that we don't have a lot of pixel, but we have a lot of temporal data streams. Temporal data streams are like, I just lift this book, it becomes a data. I just move the mouse over an website. I think I can share you a package called as Hotjar. This is actually where it says, hey, this is how much customers are clicking over, concentration of it, what should be done, what should not be done. Everything is a data. So what we have is not just a moving pixel, it's a temporal data stream that is just flowing in and out of your entire optimized network of system architecture that has been developed for such heavy loads. And what industry saw was, okay, fine. So now we have something called as SaaS, which is software as a service. But that's where most of the configurations happen, but not of an leverage where you can really put on some of your work and say, hey, I can optimize it to some more. It's like an optimized chunk of code which is given to you. You're supposed to be configuring some of the other things, or else probably something like click, 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 done. But pass is something which is good. Your Logic Apps is an integrated pass. I'll be giving a reference to this paper. Amazing paper. Please do read it. 6 pages. Don't leave this paper actually. So every time when you're thinking of such kind of an architecture, which is so humongous, so frustrating for the developers to debug at every given point, what you do is you want to decrease the complexity, then increasing it, right? So probably pass is somewhere in the middle, and you can really optimize it over the course of time. And let's just use memes as a service, not anything as platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, or FASs, IAC or something, whatever it is. So serverless makes you every time think of like what's the potential of my computational machine. Like let me say you have a C59X large machine, C59X large. This is the server which is used in your Amazon, and pretty amazing server which has lot and lot of compute capabilities. Like there's no offense. I'll be also teaching you some of the Gmail aspects that I'll be talking about and the things like that. So that doesn't mean that it's not what you're thinking. So when you are supposed to leverage such kind of an hefty computation to the max, what you have to do is you have to optimize your drivers and things like that. That's according to the hardware engineer. But as a software engineer, you need to optimize something else beyond it. So you need to manage servers, no doubt about it. But it's gone off those days where you had an on premises servers and you are maintaining it. You now have serverless applications built. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't crash. There are a lot of things like fault tolerance. There are watchers which are coming up when you go for the Kubernetes or else there are some watchers which are also there in the microservices aspects. If you go for the service mesh, something like architecting over and broad view of what is happening inside your entire system. I think there's a speaker from AZDave community. His name is Nilesh Gule. I think he's there in the speaker session. I took an wait, Nilesh, right? PURSLMNOP. Yeah, Nilesh Gule. He's a speaker. Pretty amazingly, he literally told about data mesh. Okay, I'll say my podcast, he just came up and he said that, hey, this is what I'll be working on and things like that. And he also told about the data mesh part of it. So right now there is no hope for us to literally come and say, hey, this is what I'll be working on, this is what you should be working on, and things like that. Please don't do that. It's going to be something devastating. So of course you need some code. I'll show you how code is embedded within the front end aspect of your function apps. So serverless is not server. It's makes you think that okay, you don't need to manage. And brace yourselves. Serverless is always there. Serverless is already existing. Serverless is coming in a humongous fashion. Like a lot of frameworks, a lot of wrappers, a lot of new software methodologies coming up. So let's see what it is. So before we go out, I would love to say APIs, REST API, operations, stops, trillion operations per second, server side scripting. You can think of domain specific language as well. How an API works, what is a function in the entire system of the entire system that you want to implement as any of the services. Like I can say there's Google Functions, Amazon Lambda, there is Azure Functions. Which can you leverage over a course of time? They all are still the same. They all are still the same. There's no difference behind it. But probably there is an pricing issue somewhere down the line that you have to think about, which has the best pricing model and things like that. Everything neither requires a code, doesn't require a code. That's it. So why serverless is more handy? Because it's morely when you think of scalability, you need to rapidly scale up like tsunami hits that comes and goes like okay, Hotstar. Geeks. I think uh, as geek. Sorry, not geeks. As geek. I think this is a talk which I really recommend you guys. Like I recommend you guys, highly recommend you guys. This is the talk which you need. Oh, it went to this. All right. So I highly recommend you guys this talk. This talk is amazing. Please go check this talk. Don't leave it, because if you leave it, nothing is going to come in your hand and you are going to say, hey, this is what happened, this is what happened, and things like that. So please don't complain. This is the best talk that you can go and watch right now. So go and watch it. And over the course of time, when you are thinking of some tsunami hits with chaos engineering and things like that, you can't sit and think of which component went wrong, right? So serverless is something like whenever your code here gets executed, it just gives you that one nature. And cons of it is like testing and debugging is a little more difficult than all your microservices, because sometimes when you think of containerizing an application and building it, probably there might be some security issues. I've done one security in Docker. You guys can go there, check out. basic of it. Basic of it. I have not done anything. I think scan, inspect, commands, everything. Just go there. So performance may suffer as a result because a lot of times, let me say, I was trying to deploy an H5 model, and H5 is so heavy. And what industry standards refer is for all the PB models or Onyx. I think I've highly evangelized Onyx over the course of this month. I think you guys can go see the previous talks, and there is a lot of trade-offs that you have to deal with. Sometimes probably you might have to really give up the performance because you need a lot of security aspects in it, because you have a lot of security layers that are written over anything, man. So what needs to be learned is serverless is stateless, serverless is event driven. Sorry for that, GIF. So stateless is something which is like it doesn't store any states, but it's very dynamic. As soon as a new task has been fetched, and it's like a single threaded application which is like, hey, I don't have to wait for any person, let me just complete my task which is just here. And event driven is something like, I have this task in my hand, what should I be doing next, and all these things pops up. And billing is very crucial here because different cloud providers have different ways in which they price the model. So, and it's novel, cheap. To a layman's term, it's cheap to one extent, because sometimes when you think of the calls which you are giving, it's like if you have a free trial, if you have 1 million calls, absolutely free. 1 million calls on your Azure function is absolutely free. You can have two IoT devices connected, make them talk any amount of sensor values. Like you can connect a Raspberry Pi, have a function deployed on it. Let's say, hey, just fetch me this amount of data. Probably something like connect an humidity sensor, probably let it stream the data over the course of time. So it's kind of a cheap and novel. So a lot of serverless things, but let's just go back to this Logic App. Logic Apps are iPaaS, which is integrated platform as service. This is the paper that I would love to say you guys to read. Like, please go and read it. Check out all the papers that you are able to read it, because over the course of time when you read all these things, right, um, these are written from an industry professionals, and they are pretty amazing when it comes to architecting new stuff over a course of time. So it takes years and years of research to build such kind of an application. So do check this out. And one more paper is this is actually this actually focuses more on the AWS. I don't know why, but amazing paper. Please do check it. Don't leave this paper as well. So do check this paper out. Archive has cool set of papers. Just go read as much as you can. I think I think there are some case studies which I would love everybody to go back and think about. So I think Coca-Cola has an amazing case study. Where is Coke? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has an amazing case study. Wait, I'm not getting it. Where is Coca-Cola? Ah, yeah, it's here. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has an amazing case study. Do watch it. Do read it. Actually, please don't leave that, because Coca-Cola. I don't know what's wrong with Coca-Cola, but they gave out some amazing case study today. I don't know why, but yeah, I think better is I'll share you all the resources. I think Pittsburgh. Sorry for that. Pittsburgh is also amazing. People, Genpact is okay, but Pittsburgh and this, I love this company. I specifically want you guys. They are streaming logic apps. Creating lockdown data enclaved in cloud. And within 6 weeks of period, there was a huge change which was seen, and over the course of time, and now they are architecting it. But I would say this too. I think these two are pharmaceutical companies, but I would say I love these case studies. I don't know what's wrong with it, but these are the killers in terms of the industry. I would love to listen if you guys can read it and come back with some solution saying, hey, this was wrong somewhat, so just go and do something here, and things like that. So I would love to hear that from you folks. I think I gave off all the papers and the resources. So I think AZ Logic has a lot of actions, documentation, and other things like that. So go there, check out. So as told, it's highly scalable, reusable features are there where you can deploy one code and you can use the same thing over and over again, and you can have it as a template. But what really comes up and says, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing is your workflows. Workflows is a sequence of activities that coordinates over the repeatable or the mundane jobs that you call, and they convert those materials and the deliverable services into a process which can be very easy to visualize and very easy to be tracked. And this is one of an example where, yeah, one process which has all the coding done. Probably think of something like an Azure function calling an event hub and now going for an IoT hub saying that, hey, to all the sensors, send this feedback data or things like that. So it's complex. So connectors are something which are cool. Connectors are something which says, hey, there are some restricted connections as well where one component might not get connected with others. When you save the models, you will get to know how they are modeled. And connectors are something which is like, they say this is the flow of your function which is going to be built. And triggers are something which is like, hey, this happened, so what next? This happened, this process need to be taken care about, and this is what's supposed to be happened there, and everything is given there. And actions are something which are cool because actions are something which says that, hey, for this trigger and there are these connectors which are active right now, so this is my action. And when you think of control flow, there is a huge way of understanding, okay, this is what is happening and the things like that. So control flows are a simple flow of if else statement that you can be thinking about and what should be the process that needs to happen. So let's connect some components and see what it's going to be about doing such kind of an application. So I think you guys can read this, and I think multi-tab, I think there was an I forgot that one, wait. This single tenant application. I actually read this. You guys have to read this because you get some insights about, hey, this is what is happening here in the industry about architecting some of these solutions. And this is the one which always says, hey, you're supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be doing that in your process, and performance needs to be optimized and whatnot. And this is an apps overview. You guys can listen to every bit and chunk of this article. It's actually saying about the potentials of your logic apps. And let's just go click on logic apps and build some logic apps actually. Right, fine. So now when you think of logic apps, you have something like this. And let me say I am in pay as you go model. So let me create a new resource group like demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something. Let it be something which, if you go for the standard, the problem is there is still the same old things which pops up. So I would say consumption is the better, looking for a classic consumption create experience. So you can click here and see, hey, this is what is happening and things like that. So you guys can go and check out Vishwas, Narayan, demo, logic. I don't know how many things have done, but yeah, let me just give some. So this takes less time actually. When you go for the standard, it takes a little bit longer than this, and it's easy to deploy when it's in a consumption mode. So you guys can create this. So I think by then I can also say you, okay, if you go to the developer.twitter.com, since I was already using Twint, people got to know that I was using Twint and they reviewed it, and probably that might be the reason, or else probably I might not have given a valid reason. So my Twitter API didn't start working as a developer. So sorry for that, folks. And I think Twint is doing amazing. It has Elasticsearch and way more components in it. So there are Kibana dashboards which come up. So you guys can check out what is this and all about. I think Elasticsearch, Kibana, a lot of components here. This is actually cool. So you guys can go out and say, hey, this is what I've done. So what next? and this is good. So I think better than your Twitter API, but it's considered as some awesome tool, open source intelligence. So probably if you are doing a project or an NLP, it's going to be very risky. So don't do that. And if you do that, don't mention it that you did. Got it? So this is what a designer opens. In some cases, a designer might not open because it's not sometimes feasible for the Chrome browser. And I've made some articles also where I've read some articles, not made, read some articles where they have said, hey, didn't work on Chrome on this version, Firefox on this version, Safari didn't give out this designer and the things like that. So it doesn't matter, but keep yourself on the go and you can start working. So when it's an HTTP trigger, so we all know that, right? I think last time when I did functions, I did some Postman and also on the browser. So let's just do some blank HTTP triggers, and these are some of the templates actually. If you can go and look at what was it all about. So let's just go back and think about, okay, this is what it is. I think designer didn't pop up because I already went down. So edit as a designer, start template, or else there are some ARM templates. We'll see. I just want two more sessions. One is on VS Code, one is on ARM template. It's complex because Logic Apps might look very easy, but it's little complex. So I'll take two more sessions. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Sure, sure, Vishwas. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
our folks will be
I
so
was,
much excited with that.
yeah, yeah. It's fine. Yeah, let's do that. So when you go as an editor, since it was a blank template, it gives me some triggers. There are some queue triggers. There are some recurring jobs. There are some Office connectivity, Office 365 connectivity, where I can see something like you have a document which has some data and you want it to be there. And oh, there are some blockchain based also. So there are some blockchain. Azure is also known for BaaS, blockchain as service. So probably I'll learn and I'll deliver a session one. Don't worry for that.
Yeah.
Blockchain as a service is pretty cool. Yeah, I was learning that. It was pretty cool actually. I can really do that. It's pretty awesome. And if you want, you can add some social media. You can go for some Instagram, Twitter photos, and things like that. Since my Twitter didn't get accepted because I was doing a lot of fishy things. So yeah. And this is an event hub that I was talking about. So MailChimp is here. You guys can remember this. Power BI, it's skilling. I'm looking at skilling. There are some API management. So API management services. If you guys can have a look at it, it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. So you guys can check out. This is what is happening behind the hood of your entire Logic apps or the serverless applications that you are building. So this is actually pretty amazing. So you guys can check it out. And there are some CDN applications which can be done, custom domain names and things like that. So you guys can check out. So let me just do a blank template of HTTP, and let me just save it. You will see the magic of it because URL pops up here. If you don't save it, URL doesn't come up. And if you go here, check out, it will be giving you some sort of an error. It will give an error because there are no triggers which are being mentioned. And if you go back here and look at, this is still going to be a JSON schema. So JSON schema.net. If you guys can go here, you guys can have ample amount of JSONs which can be written for you, which can say, hey, this is what is happening, what next. You guys can build your own JSONs actually. So it takes all the properties and the things like that. So pretty amazing tool. Just like your Salesforce came out with some sort of an SQL generator, this is also doing the same thing, but this is not too much of an NLP, but this is more of an common sense based, I think so. Because JSONs are pretty hard to be written also. And you can have YAML, XML, any amount of things, and you can still get the code, graphs, about what is this all about, what is this functioning. Because in ARM template, Azure Resource Manager, when you start writing it, this will be seen on your VS Code, and it's pretty cool to look at those cute plots which come up. Let's just go add some parameters. So it's simple. You need to add some parameters. So I'll choose a method and I'll press an enter because this is what it requires. And if I click on it, if I do get, there's always an element which comes and says, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. And let me just have a response for it. So response is here. Where are you, my dear? Response pop up because it's legit. A little later, if your internet is not like 100 gigs per second, it takes its time. What to do? Let me say hola Spanish, which means hello. I'll be using this once again. Don't worry, you will see the magic of this actually. So let's see. Okay, 200 is saying okay, this is perfect, working fine. If it's 403, 404, it doesn't work, so it pops up as an error. So if I save it, if it gets saved proper, and if I run this trigger here and run, it has to run. And if I go to the designer, you can go here and paste this, and you will have your function apps generated. This is your function app. What's going behind the hood is your similar function apps that is being architected, and this is a schema for it. Whatever we wrote as a function came in here. So sometimes when you're designing something, so what is this, what is that, and things like that, I think probably this is there. So peak code, if you go, this much is the schema for that. So right now I'm in the get method, I'm doing that, and this will be mapped to some sort of an optimized code, probably some Node.js. It's a pretty fast runtime, so probably they might have done that in the back end. But when you look at the peak the code, this is what it is all about. So you can if you are a colloquial developer, you guys can go here fiddle around with this code. But I really didn't understand JSON, so I am not going back once again. So there's a get method now. So what it is there is an URL which has all elements. So you have to get that from there. So what I can do is I can add a relatable path, and I can push it to somewhere here, and I can say name it up. I can, oh, sorry for that, name. And the beauty of this tool is it doesn't allow you to make any sort of an error. And there is a response here which is always dynamic. And let's see how the URL looks right now. So let me just save this. Let me just run this trigger actually. So, oh, sorry, I have not added it as a parameter. So run trigger not supported. So let me just show you how the URL looks actually. So can you guys see there's a name here? This name has been added. And now if you look at the same thing, the same application, you have not written any sort of code, but when you look at the peak the code, there's a change in everything, right? That's the magic of this. And if you go here, you can call those triggers. So this entire name will be a variable now. And there are some queries, headers, body if you want. You guys can add that, but I would say start with this name has been added. And if I do the space name, it does the same thing. So let me just show you how the peak of your code looks like. There's an hola, triggered output, and things like that, which is still the same. And even if I copy this and I try to paste it here, it's still the same. Sorry, this is not a touchscreen. Master. This is an hola, which is saying hey, trigger, which says Spanish, which means hola, hello, Vishwas in English. Fine. Let's do some more in English kind of a thing, and Vishwas in English. If I copy the same thing, it still pops up with the same thing. So let's not worry about it. So let's just run this trigger and man your relative path. All right, this is taking huge. Oh, it's already there. So it's already there, right? Oh, of course it's already there. So let's just do that. If I do this, name as Vishwas, has to give me Hola Vishwas Spanish, which means Vishwas in English. So since I had already run that, it already recognized that, hey, you're already running it. Why are you always calling me like that? Unable to run trigger manually with relative path, because as soon as you save it, this URL will start getting updated. So English, probably I will do some English one or something. Anybody from CBSE or ICC, or you guys know the pain of our CBSE ICC folks? I think English 1, English 2 was so horrible, man. Let's say what happened. So English 1 came up. So you need not have to do it. So it's pretty amazing that, okay, oh man, you're doing this, you're doing that, and what's next? And let me just show you one more thing actually. So in a similar fashion, you guys can go back and you can all just do the same thing. But I would say, let's just do one more logic app. Let's just do one more. I think it's not Databricks demo. I think it's a new demo. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So let's just do it for the consumption. Let's not do it for the standard. So let's just do some Gmail triggers. It had asked to mail some SMTP. I'll show you how this works. It's basically an SMTP client which has been configured on a VM, which sends the message or something. In a similar fashion, you need not have to go for the hassle of doing SMTP servers and things like that. You can use this and start building your own application. Like probably this is going to take a lot of time to understand. Hey, this is what is going behind. What should be doing next? What should be doing now? And things like that. So let's just move on with it. So perfect that everything is done, everything is sorted. And there is a dockerizable version of it also. I'll be doing that in VS Code version of the session, so don't worry about that. It takes time. So what did I name it as? It's demo 1, 2, 3. It's going back to the resource. Oh, it's Vishwas 9 logic demo. But did I do anything? Deployment in progress. I don't know what did I name it as, but let's see. Gmail demo. That's what I named it. So Gmail trigger. Yeah, Gmail trigger. I saw a lot of function and I was so confused, man. So let me just say you the same way HTTP trigger. So let me say something like, do you accept this agreement or something? Like you say, hey, he accept this agreement. What next? Or else sending an YouTube, as soon as you put an email in the YouTube, what next? And I'll be doing one on the Dropbox and OneDrive, so the same files get talked each other. So there are no parameters, so still the get method, and I do the same thing here. I do the get, perfect. Let's peek the code. Perfect. The schema is also allotted and things like that. So let me just do a Gmail, which is going to say, hey, send an email and things like that. So if you are a first time, you will be prompted to something like authentication and the things like that. But let's do this, which was Gmail. Use as a shared application, which is having this. So own applications are something like you have some sort of a domain which says, hey, Vishwas Narayan @company.com, things like that. Why is it taking so much time? Auth should not take that time. So I authorized it. So now I'm allowing it to read, compose, send, and permanently delete all emails from Gmail. Like there is a function for delete email and things like that. So let's not touch that. So let's just send a mail. In the drop down menu, you saw that, right? There was an delete email functionality which was written and things like that. So you guys can go here. Wait, this is taking a little bit of time because it is supposed to, because a lot of authentication, a lot of Logic apps. So probably it's also confused. Don't get confused, man. So it has created this Gmail authentication, which is creating right now. So can anybody send me a mail if you guys want to? But don't get offended by that. But yeah, let me just do it for my mail itself. So there's a Vishwas Narayan 2345 at gmail.com. So that's my email. Anybody can connect with me at any given point. So let's just do some subjects. Body, let me just do CC. BC is like carbon copy, blind carbon copy, and things like that. You can add attachments, like there are some dynamic attachments which come up and things like that. You guys can do that. Triggered on call of the URL triggered. And like probably you can click on that and you can type in some mail, hey, you authorized this, you authorized that. Probably this is the kind of an application that goes behind it. I think it should save. It should save. Of course, it's saved. Let's run this trigger. So there is an URL which is there here. So let me just run this. So performance has started, the action has begun. So last time when you saw that, right, when I did that, when I saved it, it was already there, but now I've called it, right? So let me just go back and think for it. What's my email? It should have gone to spam because I did some demos on YouTube and things like that. It was it was in spam in some places, but I don't know what's here. But let's call it. All right, I've called it right. It need to pop up, but spam. What really happened here? Did I give my mail properly? It says it has sent, but why is it not coming? All right, let's see whether it's in my Chrome. Chrome is good for all these debugging things. What really happened here? Oh, I'm sending it to my own email. I think probably that's the issue here. Let's not do that. I have one more. This I use it for all my demos on deep learning, and most of the notebooks are written using this. So triggered, fine, has worked. Just copy that. Let's just go here, paste this thing. I need to edit it, right? So I'm go to back to this designer. I go to this mail. I'm bored of this own demo. It's not working. Triggered one. So let's just do that. It's already there. It has taken production 24, right? So let me just see that. Oh, it's worked perfect. Wait, I'll share my entire screen so that you guys can see the mail. Where is that? This is the mail that I got right now. So the 0 minutes triggered on call of the URL. Since I was using my own email, it was thinking, hey, this might go spam. But since it had already been triggered and many times, and I'll show you in the YouTube video. YouTube video, it is like contents are very moderated, right? So you guys have to be very careful when you're dealing with such kind of applications. So done with that. So let's go back and share my other screen as well. Where are my other windows? Logic App. All right. Is that the same application that I was working on? Yes, this is the same application. So right now I have successfully emailed myself what should be done. It was just an URL trigger. It was the same URL. Like, don't spam my email, but I'll just give that link. I think it's a long link. Yeah, it takes in that many amount of link. So yeah, it's already. Oh, yeah, this is the one. You guys can go click on that. Let's see whether the mail pops up. We'll see. Can you click on that?
Yes, I'm trying to do, but
Yeah,
let's see.
no, there is that. That's a blank window because I've not said
Yeah,
anything to
yeah,
you.
I'm able to click.
You're
Able
able
to
to
open
click,
that.
right? Wait, let's just do that. You clicked on it, right? Wait, let's just run that trigger once. Oh, sorry for that. Gmail triggers, run trigger. Now, click on it.
Can you tell which, which you have pinned, right?
Yeah, yeah, trigger.
Yes, I was able to open, but I think it's loading. It's showing just a white
Yeah,
page.
yeah. You can reload it. We can see a simple introduction to that.
Yes, it's opening.
Yeah, that only. Trigger, the same mail pops up once again and again. If I do the same thing here, also it's still the same thing. It comes and says, "Hey, you gave me this mail." Oh, probably it might not. It should not go to spam because sometimes it goes to spam. The YouTube trial went to the spam, so that's why I'm so concerned about it. Fine, the URL got triggered. Perfect. Let's just not waste much more time here. And let's just go back to the YouTube demo that we are planning to. So Gmail triggered, done. So let's just do one more logic app where we call an YouTube API and things like that. APIs are amazing. I'm not joking. APIs are too cool, but setting up it's havoc, and it really takes a toll on you sometimes. Okay, if something is not working and things like that. YouTube demo one. So yeah, let it be colloquial. YouTube demo and the things like that. It's taking in some time. I'm gonna hide you. It takes time because hey, it's always there to always take some time. And what is this R7? I don't understand that. Yeah, I think it should have been done. Yes, validation done. Let it create. I'm hoping you get created. Submitted deployments. So now there is an consumption which is happening. It will be formed very wow. Splash is good actually. Yeah. Worst. I should give some other video photo for this. Deployment done. Perfect. So let's just do. So as soon as you open, sometimes it doesn't pop up. I'll be very frank with you. Sometimes it doesn't even pop up. So what can you do for that? So I think there is Outlook. I think let's just do Dropbox actually. Dropbox. So when you do that blank template, it will be back here. When file is created, that means when the file is created, when I add something on that file, and I'm now redirecting it back to my new folder. I think let me just also go to my Dropbox and do a new folder. Create a new folder, new 123, and that will also in even in here I'll be writing it as new 123 itself. Let's see how it works. You 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do that because you have now connected it. So it's creating. It's authenticated. Yep, it's authenticated. It takes time. It regularly it will not take that much amount of time, but I don't know why it's taking too much time today. All right. Okay, wait. It's still the same old application. It's taking too much time, man. It's almost 6:51, right? 7 o'clock. We need to end it, right? Wait. Let me just do this one thing. Wait. I want to share my screen. Uh, Learning Node.js. This is fine. Perfect. You guys can see my Logic apps, right? This is already been done. So let's just go back and look at the YouTube demo as well as this other demos that we were planning, right? So where's that? Dropbox. It's which was YouTube. So the same send mail is also done. So the Dropbox is here. So let's just see what's this Dropbox all about. So let me just say, okay, it's the same old application where you are doing. Okay, Dropbox added, and there is new 1, 2, 3 which is already created. So I will add the new folder here, and let's show Dropbox. A Dropbox is here, and you can sync up it to your website or something, or else on your local system, and you can start working here. Once you can go back and you can still share it. So, and as soon as you go for this create, there's OneDrive, go create back there, and you guys still get the same old stuff. So I've connected it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So OneDrive. Get created as quick as possible. So where is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the two folders that I'll be looking at right now. Ooh, I had already logged in, man. Dropbox. Start your free trial now. Oh, wait. Just go back there and get back. What's this all about? So 1, 2, 3. So it's in home 1, 2, 3. So both of them are empty right now. So if I upload a new file, let me just say a GIF which I took. So same was what I did. It's uploading a GIF. So it's already uploaded, and see it's now being reflected here.
Yes.
So right now it's here, and I save it and I run it as some triggers. Now since I uploaded it, since every 3 minutes was supposed to be there, but I've given it as 1 minute, that's also fine. You guys can go there and check out, okay, this is what has happened and things like that. So if you go and upload one more, and you guys can see it will be affected here. It will start running the trigger. See, each through bare electrical. So I uploaded the recent one here, and the recent one got updated. And if I do the same thing, like let's say Bollywood GIF, if I go back, run this trigger, and as soon as it's get uploaded here, start reflecting here. So it will take some time because it's always an human touch which is always there. So I didn't touch that, I didn't upload anything, but it got updated. So this is the magic of these kind of applications when you're building such kind of things, right? It's so cool. And this is an YouTube demo. This is the YouTube ID, and I think I'll show you my channel. So uh, this is my YouTube channel. I do some podcasts, so do consider subscribing it, folks, so that I get some more subscribers out there. 629. Damn, this is good. Okay, fine. Perfect. But this is a podcast list that I have. So you guys can go check out what podcast that I do. 70 videos already, man. Yeah, there's one more. Wait, serious. I'll be unlisting it very soon, actually. So since it was already done, wait, I'll show you. So this is an outlook.com. So let me just show you the magic of these kinds of codes that we have written, right? This is not a code right now, right? So now when you see that, it's a code. It's like a triggered body which is saying that, hey, there is going to be a trigger here. And now this is a local system for your entire infrastructure. Your YouTube is connected over the course of time. So let me just say I upload a new video here. A simple video. I'll private it afterwards. So something like this person's name is Leslie Lampard, amazing scientist behind the database. He's also one of those scientists in the Microsoft. I think I should say about him. Leslie Lampard. It's an amazing scientist. Please go check out his videos on YouTube. There's uh, hours of talks which he has given. Pretty amazing scientist, like pretty awesome to listen to also. So you guys can go check out his talks, podcasts, and things like that. And if you want, I also have been doing insights of the week, so you guys can check out. And let's say, what's the email that I have taken? Okay, there is some 2345 email itself. So as soon as this gets processed and it gets updated over the course of time, this is 99, right? It will be 100 pretty soon. So checking 1% done. So this has been uploaded, right? So this is still in the untitled png and things like that. So I'm coming up with this. So this is checking whether this is working or not. So let me just go to my mail and see whether the mail has popped up and said, hey, yes, uploaded a new video. Sometimes goes to spam, but I don't know why. Did I give something like that, or when I upload the video? Wait, let me just take this mail itself. Plus, I don't know, man. What is wrong with this new stuff that we did? So let's just save it. Let's just run the triggers. So why didn't this? Oh, since I have authenticated the same emails, I think probably it was working, and now it was there as a spam. So uploaded a video and this came up, and this is pretty cool, right? When you're building such applications, when you're such kind of workloads at every given point of time, and everything needs to be automated from you itself, it's impossible to do it at every time in your free time also. It's not going to happen, and that is what it is all about. And I think started giving out as a spam. Never be a spam. Oh, there are already two spams. and I uploaded the video, and that was being triggered here. Oh, even the last video was also being called here, man. Oh, what's wrong with this? Yeah, that's it, folks, from my side. Thank you so much. This is the end of the session. So, any queries that you really wanted to ask or anything that you really wanted to convey, feel free to convey it for me. Mute, mute.
Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
it was very amazing, and really, Logic Apps is a very big thing. Like to go in deep, and yeah, we will be doing 2 more sessions with you, as you told.
Yeah, because this is very far beyond. I'll say one thing: ARM templates. ARM templates are widely used in a lot of applications. Like even in those case studies, you can see there are some ARM templates deployed and
Yes,
things like that. So I think probably without doing those 2 sessions, probably I nothing makes sense here. Whatever I had done as a basic, probably yeah, we can do that for sure.
yes, same. I would say you can tell me the dates. I will
Yeah,
surely
yeah,
announce it.
anything. Yeah, I think probably next month, any time that you are free, it's fine for me. Yeah, I think fourth we have an AutoML, right? Fourth, we talked about AutoML and Databricks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing afterwards. Probably on that day morning. No, I'll get busy afterwards. Sorry for that. So probably
we can
evening.
decide
Yeah,
it afterwards.
we can decide it afterwards. Yeah, sure. So thank you so much,
And
folks. Thank you so much.
yes, folks, do subscribe our Azure Developer Community channel, and we have such many amazing sessions going on there. Like with many of our organizers give the different sessions, so do check it out, and do check the site of
Yeah.
Azure Developer Community and connect with us. So yeah, that's for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.